by antimatter-powered human ships, the galaxy was completely unprepared. From the observation deck of the Galactic Conclave's diplomatic station, Admiral Drell watched the approaching human vessel with undisguised contempt. The small ship, barely 200 meters long, looked primitive compared to the sleek kilometer-long cruisers of the Conclave fleet surrounding it. They send this tiny craft to negotiate? Drell's upper mandibles clicked in what his species considered laughter. Perhaps they couldn't afford the fuel for anything larger. Ambassador Laura Miller, the lone human representative on the station, maintained her diplomatic smile. After 5 years of petitioning, Earth had finally secured this meeting with the Galactic Conclave, the ruling body that controlled trade routes through 3 spiral arms of the Milky Way. "The Phoenix is one of our newest vessels, Admiral," she replied evenly. "Captain Ryan thought it appropriate for first contact with your full conclave." Science Minister Elix, a being of shifting luminescent gases contained within an environmental suit, drifted closer to the viewport. "Our scans detect unusual energy patterns from your vessel, Ambassador. Care to explain?" Laura's smile remained unchanged. "I believe Captain Ryan will address all technical questions once he arrives." "It doesn't matter," interrupted Trade Counselor Vorn, his translucent skin revealing the complex circulatory system beneath. "Humans control no valuable territories or resources. This meeting is merely a formality before we reject their petition." The Phoenix completed its docking procedure with a precision that even Admiral Drell grudgingly noted. The Conclave representatives arranged themselves in the Grand Reception Hall, a carefully choreographed display of their perceived superiority. Captain John Ryan entered alone, wearing a simple blue uniform with minimal ornamentation. He carried no weapons and was accompanied by no guards, a fact that Admiral Drell's security team found both puzzling and slightly insulting. "Captain Ryan of Earth," announced the Conclave speaker. "You may present your case for admission." Ryan nodded respectfully to the assembled representatives. "Thank you for agreeing to this meeting. Earth seeks peaceful integration into the galactic community and access to established trade routes." "On what basis?" demanded Trade Counselor Vorn. "Your species has nothing to offer. Your technology is centuries behind ours. Your ships are small and underpowered. What possible value could Earth bring to the Conclave?" Ryan's expression remained neutral. "Perhaps a demonstration would be more convincing than a verbal explanation." He activated a small holographic projector on his wrist. The image showed the Phoenix in orbit around the station. "The Phoenix is powered by what we call an antimatter cascade reactor," Ryan explained. "It's our standard propulsion system for all military and exploratory vessels." Science Minister Elix rippled with agitation. "Impossible. Antimatter production and containment at any useful scale is beyond what you believed possible." Ryan finished. "We've been manufacturing antimatter for nearly 50 years. A murmur ran through the assembled representatives. "A bluff," declared Admiral Drell. "Our scans would have detected antimatter signatures." "Your scans detected unusual energy patterns, as Minister Elix noted," Ryan replied. "Our containment technology masks the typical signatures, but perhaps a more concrete demonstration." At that moment, alarms blared throughout the station. A flustered aide rushed in and whispered urgently to Admiral Drell, whose exoskeleton paled visibly. 300 unidentified vessels have just appeared at the edge of this system," Drell announced, mandibles twitching anxiously. "They appeared simultaneously with no hyperspace or warp signatures." "That would be the Earth Defense Fleet," Ryan said calmly. "Admiral Mason thought it prudent to be nearby for our first official contact." The holographic display shifted to show hundreds of human vessels arranged in a perfect spherical formation. They varied in size, from small frigates to massive dreadnoughts spanning nearly a kilometer in length. "You brought a war fleet to a diplomatic meeting?" The Conclave speaker's voice trembled with outrage. "Not at all," Ryan replied. "This is merely 20% of our total fleet. They're here on a routine training exercise. The fact that they arrived without your sensors detecting their approach should demonstrate one application of our antimatter technology." Trade Counselor Vorn's translucent skin had turned cloudy with stress. 300 ships cannot appear simultaneously across 2 light minutes of space without some form of faster-than-light travel. Correct, Ryan nodded. Our antimatter drives power what we call space-folding technology. It temporarily collapses the distance between 2 points, allowing instantaneous transition without conventional FTL signatures. Science Minister Elix's containment suit vibrated with excitement. The energy requirements would be astronomical. Hence the antimatter, Ryan smiled. We can produce approximately 12 kilograms per day at our Jupiter facility alone. The conclave representatives exchanged alarmed glances. Even their most advanced civilizations could only create antimatter in microscopic quantities. Admiral Drell recovered his composure first. An impressive display, Captain. But military might alone does not qualify a species for conclave membership. Of course not, Ryan agreed. The antimatter technology has numerous peaceful applications as well. Our medical ships can reach disaster areas anywhere in controlled space within minutes. Our terraforming systems can stabilize a planet's ecosystem in months rather than centuries, Ryan gestured. And the hologram changed to show images of devastated worlds being rapidly transformed. Massive weather control systems powered by compact antimatter reactors. Earth doesn't seek to intimidate the conclave, he continued, his voice sincere. We've simply developed along a different technological path than your member species. While you perfected conventional warp drives and energy weapons, we focused on antimatter production and application. Ambassador Laura stepped forward. The conclave constitution states that any species with unique technological or cultural contributions may petition for membership. We believe Earth qualifies under those terms. The conclave speaker conferred quietly with the other representatives before turning back to the humans. This demonstration has been most illuminating. The conclave will require time to reevaluate Earth's petition. Of course, Ryan nodded respectfully. We'll maintain the Phoenix in its current position. The rest of our fleet will withdraw to a respectful distance to avoid any perception of coercion. As the human captain departed, the conclave representatives huddled together in urgent discussion. Admiral Drell turned to Science Minister Elix. Could they actually do what they claim? Produce antimatter at that scale? The gaseous being pulsed thoughtfully. If they can, it would revolutionize everything. From power generation to medicine to warfare, a single gram of antimatter contains the energy equivalent of approximately 43 kilotons of TNT. With 12 kilograms daily, the minister's voice trailed off as the calculations became too disturbing to voice. Trade Counselor Vorn's skin had regained its translucence. We must reconsider our position immediately. A species with such technology cannot be kept as outsiders. They must be integrated, studied, and, he hesitated, carefully monitored. From her position near the viewport, Ambassador Laura watched the conclave's frantic deliberations with quiet satisfaction. Earth had kept its technological advances secret for decades, developing in isolation while observing the conclave from afar. Now finally, humanity was ready to claim its place among the stars. Not as supplicants, but as equals whose technological path had led them to capabilities the galaxy was simply unprepared to comprehend.